I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for happy hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour, whiskey, cigar, spirits, and the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
That guy across from me right there, that's David Wright.
The guy right across from me is August Gitschlag.
You talk about the guy on the screen up there?
Oh,
who's going to take that responsibility?
You know what? That's okay because I'm not there. I'm here. And I'm on location.
It doesn't mean you're any less sexy, Matt Fox.
I'm on location in Grand Rapids, all right?
With your welcome cocktail, just chilling.
Yeah. Here we are.
Matthew, what did you? We're coming up. We're talking today with the owner of Black Eden. It's Ikonic Spirits, and we're going to get to that as soon as we find out what Matt poured for his welcome cocktail.
So I got a 1920 Prohibition Old Forester, some orange bitters and some Luxardo cherries, just hanging out, doing a podcast with some of my best friends.
Hey, awesome. Matt, we're glad you were able to squeak away from work to be able to get in here. And
work ended a couple hours ago, so
all right.
Are you at like a convention or something? Are you in a hotel room in Grand Rapids?
Where's the Shriners at? Running up and down the hallway with their
little hat on.
Why aren't you at the hotel lobby bar picking up tail, buddy?
No, I'm at the Don't Tell Motel. That's where I'm at.
I can tell by the art.
Yeah, right.
Do you have quarters for the bad man?
August?
I didn't hear you, buddy. What's that?
Have you watched any movies lately, August?
No.
The art on the walls.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't. There's a joke there. It just doesn't fly when you're so far away, buddy. It didn't connect.
Porn jokes don't work on this podcast.
Oh, okay. You're sitting in the desk chair that's in the hotel room. I get it. Okay.
Fair enough.
Welcome to the podcast.
That kind of stuff. All my stuff's classy. It's all filmed in Beverly Hills.
That's it. So, John, see how silly we are. It's a whole band of silliness here. But John, we brought you in today because we came across there's another podcast here that records out of the Podcast Your Voice studios. These guys, Puffs and Drinks, and they were doing a show, and then somebody they had on where they were really advocating for you. And I kind of Googled it. I'm like, hey fellas, he's down the street doing a tasting, and we all. So after the show, we all came over and said hi.
Yes, you did.
I got a sneak peek of the Black Eden bourbon. Is it bourbon?
Yes,
Bourbon,
sir.
straight bourbon whiskey. All right, it's and the bottling. We'll talk about the bottling and all that. It's sexy. It's
pretty.
It's a
pretty one.
It's a sexy beast. And all about that. But before we get to all of that, and it's Joubert, right, John?
Yes, sir.
Joubert,
Yep.
Ikonic Spirits.
Yes.
And bourbon's not all you do. So there's wine and some clear spirits and all kinds of stuff you got going on, right?
Just some wine. Wine.
A wine?
I saw
Okay.
Moscato.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
I'm a winemaker
So
myself.
all
I'm
right.
a hobby winemaker.
So the bourbons and wines. We'll talk about those another time. Today we're going to focus on the bourbon from Ikonic Spirits. But before we get to that,
John, before we get to that, anywhere
Yes, sir.
close to the product.
yes.
Before we get to that,
There's an important ritual here on the Man Cave Happy Hour.
John, tell me about your childhood.
Well, my name is John Joubert. I am born and raised in Detroit.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
I am a Detroiter.
East
East side, west side.
Actually, Southwest Detroit.
Southwest.
Zip code 48217.
All right.
Wow, there you go.
Well, I was 48234 over 7 in Van Dyke area.
Okay.
But, all right.
I was
cool.
7 in Meringue. So I grew up in St. Jude.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm a Hamtramckian. I live in Hamtramck.
Hamtramck. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So, all right. So, a Detroit guy. Did you stay here? Or did you,
I did. I
Okay.
did. I went to Detroit Southwestern. Play high school basketball. Won a whole lot. Right.
Yeah, we're-
I'm of
We're
that
sitting down.
Rashawn Leonard
Yeah.
era. I remember watching.
Yeah.
I think
Shout
the
out-
seat's a little deceptive because he's a tall fella.
Yeah.
He's
Shout out to Vashawn Leonard, who was one of my high school teammates.
I went to Lakeshore,
Ah.
St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. Who
Okay.
you beat us in districts at East Detroit High School. I was there that day.
Ah.
Son of a bitch. No, that team was one of the best high school teams ever come out of Detroit.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that was a great era.
Yes. Yeah. So
Prospectors.
went there. played basketball. Graduated from Southwestern, went to Grambling State University.
Oh, okay.
Played basketball also there. Then I had a devastating knee injury. So went there, graduated, got my degree, came back to Michigan, and started my life, and and been here ever since.
Hustling.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Always
sir.
hustling.
Absolutely.
So what brought you to bourbon and wine? What brought you to Ikonic Spirits?
Okay, so I'm in the entertainment industry, right? So spending some time in that, I always understood how wine and spirits go together with entertainment from every type of aspect that you can think of.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The iconic pictures of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra holding that sound.
Yes. So with me understanding that, it's something I always wanted to get into. So during COVID, it's when my mother made a transition during that time. So that inspired me to want to do something to honor my mother's legacy. So we started off with a wine brand first. And the name of that wine brand was called Phyllis Wines, which is named after my mom.
Oh.
Right. So, it took some time to develop it. But the plan was always start with the wine and then scale up to the bourbon. Because, myself being a long time, whiskey connoisseur, I would say, something that I always wanted to do, and so that's where it led me to here.
That's an interesting direction because it's such a different process.
Yeah,
as someone who makes wine and has messed around with a garage still, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But the wines, you can make them. The whites, you can pump them out. I'm trying to think of the scale of how you guys are doing this, because I do it buckets at a time, man. To go from wine to the booze.
So we'll have a whole wine conversation.
Yeah.
And that was why a lot of times people go from the clear liquids. I'm going to do a bourbon, but it takes time to get a bourbon in the barrels and out of the barrels. And if people are distilling themselves, a lot of times they start with the
clears,
the
and they're white lightning, and they'll mix it sometimes with
the gin, the vodkas. So that's why
we've had plenty of them on the show.
Thought you did,
plenty of them on the show. Yeah.
So you jumped right into finding a bourbon that you liked, right?
Yes,
so how long has Black Eden been a thing?
So
Black Eden 1912. That's an important.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
an important year.
Yeah. Right, James.
Very historic story, behind the name. So Black Eden was the nickname of a historical Black resort community called Idlewild, right here in Idlewild, Michigan. It's about 3.5 hours northwest of Detroit. And that community was established in 1912.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was that far back.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen the Outcast movie, and we're familiar with it. I never put it in Michigan myself. I always thought, for some reason in my head, it was in Illinois.
Yeah.
It was outside Chicago.
But you know what? What's funny is that it is in Idlewild, Illinois.
Okay.
It's not a city, but it's like there's a golf course there named after Idlewild, and I don't know the exact history of it there, but that may be something that you might have,
for some reason it's in my head. But I just But I feel like obviously when I knew you were coming on, I started Googling that again and looking into that stuff. So it was just like, oh man, I went down that whole rabbit hole.
Yeah,
that I went down years ago.
So Idlewild was an African American resort destination because things were a little less commingled in 1912.
I mean, just
that's polite.
Just to be blunt, during that time, African Americans weren't allowed to go to white resorts to see their own people perform and entertain. So Idlewild was birthed out of that. And one of the early curators of the community was Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, who was the first doctor to perform open heart surgery.
Right. So it's like,
yes. And so he recruited some of his friends, Dr. W.D. Du Bois, Madam C.J. Walker, some others, to buy property in Idlewild. And so this became a hub for African Americans to go to. So during the height of the community was during what was called the Chitlin Circuit. You guys familiar with the Chitlin Circuit?
I've not heard.
I've heard of that.
You've heard of Chitlin Circuit? Okay, so the Chitlin Circuit was a time where musicians, again, weren't allowed to go to big places to perform. So they went to a lot of smaller places where we can say juke joints.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I'm familiar.
Yes, throughout the time. And so Idlewild became one of those places that was a favorite for everyone to come to.
Okay.
One, because of course it was a black-owned place with over 300 black-owned businesses. So they felt very safe during that time.
Yeah,
right?
when people didn't feel safe, even just driving down the street.
Absolutely. So it was a very, and I'm talking about your who's who in music, from James Brown to Etta James, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, Dizzy Gillespie, B.B. King, your who's who, and not just entertainers, but also other notable people in the community. Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, Della Reese. All these people used to hang out
That all makes
in
sense.
Ottawa, with their families, and it was a place where they come together, just have a great time, and not just only those notable people, but just regular everyday people as well. Will come there and just have a great time.
So interesting. What was there an intent as far as the location goes?
As far as being there as opposed to Battle Creek or Port Huron. Well, you know what? The opportunity presented itself for that piece of land which happened to be in that particular area, which is actually in the city of Baldwin.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
My in-laws live on Oxbow Lake.
Okay, so not far.
In Baldwin.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. So it was just an opportunity then that they took advantage of that, and that's how just became that hub. And so you had people from not just the Midwest, but the East Coast, West Coast, that came there and just had a great time.
So when it was referred to as a Black Eden.
Yes, that was the nickname.
So I haven't got my hands on that bottle yet. Is this the story that's on the back? Because you got some text back there, my man.
Yes, just a short paragraph.
A little bit of information.
Yeah, just to
so
give
it does bring it. Okay, good.
Just
I'm glad
of
that's
the
there.
history.
I got to put the readers. A man of a certain age.
Men of a certain age. You got to put the
okay.
Yeah, it's all like 2.5s or 1.5s.
That's right. Play trombone with it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so and our connection to the community is that my family also has a lake home there.
Oh, nice.
And so when we decided to create a brand, we wanted to create it after something that represented a period that represented Black excellence, as well as pay homage to the history.
Is that a picture on there? Is that the lake? Is
that is the lake? That is Lake Ottawa.
Okay.
And everyone's lake homes were all around the lake.
Oh.
All right. So when you were selecting this,
yes, sir,
you chose 90 proof. Did you think about going higher or lower? How did you settle on 90?
Well, so 90, we wanted to do something that was flexible, right? So we wanted something that had some kick to it, but also the flavor profile was sort of upfront, so you're able to taste, some good flavor. We understand, and we have a lot of bourbon connoisseurs that they like heat. On the back end,
hotter, yeah.
And then you like.
Oh, I'm a rye guy, so that's why I like.
You like a little spice, in your life, right?
Yeah.
And so, and others like to just enjoy the taste of it. So we wanted to do something now we thought was balanced.
It's not going to blow your head off, and yet it's not. You're just 80. It's not just 80, but
and one thing we've been learning since we've been in the business is that a lot of women enjoy our bourbon as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I like women that enjoy bourbon.
All right, you guys ready? You guys ready?
Yep.
Please.
Oh, good one.
Nice.
August, that's the best pop you've ever had.
Fresh crack. That's what she said. All right.
There we go.
That was cherry, August.
That was pretty good.
That was
cherry. You popped it.
So, all right. So you're like, I want to do a bourbon. You came up with the name, you came up with the concept, and then you're like, I have to source the whiskey, right? So you've partnered with, you getting it out of Illinois?
So our distillery is in Illinois. However, we did source our juice through MGP, and a lot of people,
a lot of people do.
We have no shame in that game.
Absolutely.
No,
we understand.
We talked to Greg Metz
like that.
We know MGP makes great juice, and they source 60% of the bourbon that people.
I'll let you pour your own. I don't know how much of your own product you're using these days.
As we say, we like for you to pour your own trouble.
The cause and solution to all of life's problems.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna live by
reference.
So you partnered with them.
We partnered with them, sourced our barrels through them, and then our distillery is actually in Illinois, and so that is where all the magic takes place.
So, all right. So you source some juice from them, and then what happens to it?
So we source the juice from them. Then we do our blending in Illinois, and we proof it, and that's where we do some things to it to create,
customize your magic.
Right now. Absolutely.
And you've found that you can keep it consistent.
Yes,
because that's always a challenge that everybody that's in this side of the business is like, you got to prove to me that you can bring it the same case to case, month to month.
Yes, yes, and it is an art. It is a technique.
It is an art.
So two Eagles Distillery.
Yes, sir.
And that's and so what happens when you get to Two Eagles? Is that ancient Chinese secret you can't tell us?
KFC recipe.
I won't be able to let all three of you leave out of here alive.
all right.
How about one?
I'm over here.
Matt, we can't hear Matt. Matt's trying to say something over there. He's like,
no, I just gotta say,
I'm over here. You can't kill me. You have your hand raised, Matt. What's up?
I was gonna say I'm gonna live vicariously through the four of you while I look up at you. All right. So I'm gonna live vicariously, and I want to know exactly what the first reaction you get when you taste it for the first time.
So Matt is usually the guy who immediately says, "I got cherry vanilla, leather shoe oil, and neat's foot oil." He comes out with all the crazy flavors.
Dirty
right
peat moss.
Yes,
that was been trampled by a cow.
With hints of vanilla.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's a straight on the label. It says it's a straight bourbon whiskey, and so straight bourbon whiskey. There's
got to be some corn in here.
There's bourbon whiskey, but a straight bourbon whiskey. What's the straight?
So straight just means there's nothing added to it, no additives to it.
No coloring, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can't.
So I will say,
everything is
your mash bill, is it on the bottle? I didn't.
So the mash bill is not on the bottle. However, I can tell you the mash bill is 75% corn,
yes,
21% rye, and 4% malted barley.
Yeah, you can get that corn. The sweetness, the smells right away. Right away.
I will say on the nose, even though that's just 90 proof, it's got a stronger nose to it.
It's got that. Well, I don't think it does.
No, you don't think so?
It smells super sweet.
I got cherry on the nose, but
the last time I smelled something this sweet, it was a cask aged. It was like a rum or a sherry or something like that. Like, to get that nose right away. I mean, we know it's not, but I knew right away it was a heavy corn, which is fine with me. I love that kind of shit. Yes, you can swear here.
But it's not corny. It didn't smell corny. We've had some that were
we had some that smelled like it was like Easter dinner corn. Yeah.
I was getting different noses.
Jamie, I almost want to call out
higher in the corn, in the mash. So
we're losing you, Matt. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I almost want to call out a specific bourbon that we've had in the past that was really corny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which one was that?
I just one of the brands that we played.
Yeah, one of the brands. It was just it was super corny.
If you can't say anything nice,
then just don't say it at all.
Don't say anything at all. All right, fair play. But sugary. I'm getting sugar cookies now on the nose.
Yep, I got that right away.
So not on the first nose. Now that I've had the sip,
that's the corn.
I love when everyone has their own palate work, for themselves,
their own senses.
And they tell me what they get. I love it.
I tried to get one of my childhood. I run into people on opening day, so I do all the high holy holidays of drunken obligation in Detroit. And opening day was the sixth and final one that I have to day drink. And I ran into some childhood friends that we planned it.
It's a law.
We all met up. It is a law in my life. In my life, it's a law. And he's like, I'm not a big bourbon guy, so I got him a Woodford. And he's like, all right, this is okay. I'm like, you got to come on the podcast. I goes, why? He goes, because you're not a bourbon guy. I want your reaction when we're doing tastings and we're trying some of this stuff. Right. And if your face goes weird, it isn't going to offend anybody because we're going to make sure everyone knows you're not a bourbon drinker to start. But we want what you're tasting, what you're smelling, without a previous, 2 years of doing this shit and tasting stuff.
Yeah, we need a rookie.
Yeah, I want a rookie and a voice and his goofy reactions to stuff. It's almost like, hey, smell my finger and see what happens. But he bailed on us tonight. But we'll get him.
We'll get him.
John, I like this. I'm getting sugar cookies on this, and it's finishing nice.
I will definitely not. I will lower my simple syrup addition to this old fashioned because I don't think I need it. I like the sweetness that it comes with now.
and even with the sweetness, you still got that little bit of bite. That's what if there's no bite, I just it doesn't do it for me.
We've had so many different spirits that we've tried here, and we always talk about the mash bills, and we talk about that's always Matt's thing. He always asks about the mash bills.
Yeah. What's that?
I am a rye guy.
Okay,
and
so
I like that.
You like the spice.
I like the spice, and I like the malted barley. It's refreshing my own palate to have one that's sweeter, kind of like a Bullet. Bullet is sweet like this too. Bullet's a little corn heavy.
Yeah,
and I don't drink a lot of Bullet. I drink the Bullet rye. This is nice. This is an easy drinking.
It's a nice
bourbon that's not gonna hurt. It's better. I don't know what's better than yet. You know what? I always say what it's better or worse than when I know how much it costs.
Well, we can already say it's better than most of your generic brands that you get at
you keep my wild turkey out of your mouth, Dave. I swear. You keep my wild turkey out your mouth.
Wild turkey, Jack. You know,
I love
all of the wedding whiskeys.
We started
wedding whiskeys are Canadian in this state.
Yeah,
wedding whiskeys are all Canadian. Jack Daniels or CC.
CC, yep.
They're all Crown Royal is your premium wedding whiskey in the state of Michigan. It's just what it is. You go to weddings out of state. Ain't no one heard of that shit. ain't no secrets and seven.
Bags,
You're doing 7 and 7s anywhere except bowling alleys in Michigan and weddings. You know.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yes.
There's some nice legs on this too.
Thank you.
There's some legs hanging out there in the Glencairns.
The oils are doing what they're supposed to.
They are. John, as far as coming up with the packaging and design, we've talked to several people, and getting the packaging approved. What sort of experience did you have with that?
Oh yeah.
Well, with designing the bottle, no experience actually. You know, just something that.
But how was like dealing with the government, right?
Oh well, that's always the challenge, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's a great package. But I'm talking about getting it approved by the governmental forces.
TTB who approves all your colas. It was a challenge. But the one thing,
did you get sent back on anything?
No, I was going to say we hit it the first time.
Yeah, you had a little. Did you have a little tutoring or something?
We had a little.
Good for you and your patent lawyers and everybody else. Yeah.
They
MGP people are like, hey, trust me.
You know, they earn their money. So.
Good for you.
Yeah, so we didn't have a problem.
Oh, that's good. So many people, it's like, I don't know, back to the drawing board. Try again.
The nightmare that Hard Luck Vodka went through. Oof. With they had the greatest bottle in the world, and they're launched all over the place, and then after a year and a half, 2 years, they get sued because they sold the same bottle to somebody else.
Wow.
That the company screwed them over, but they didn't sue the company that did the bottles. They screwed the company that bought the bottles, and it's like, oh my God, what are you talking about?
It's America. Sue everybody.
Everybody. Doesn't mean you're going to win, but you have the right to sue.
I mean, it comes from the top down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sue them.
All right, well, that's good. So there was no big arduous task on the shape of the bottle, right? Because this is a little different. It's a skinny, almost like a tall flask.
So the actual the name of this bottle shape is called a Kingston.
Okay.
Yes, so it was
Did
something
not know that.
Yeah, so we wanted something that had like a nice vintage look to it. Something that was sort of sleek, started sleek, but then starts to broaden up at the shoulders. We wanted like some nice, sexy shoulders.
Yeah.
With a nice neck, because as you see, our cap strap right here goes around the bottle.
Yeah.
And so a lot of other brands, you may not see this type of cap strap. They normally would just have something
plastic.
Something plastic. So these cap straps they're very, very tedious to put on. So we had a hard time doing that, but every single bottle we had to put these on here, and so we like the
labor
long
shit right there.
We like the long neck, with the crescent and the B and E. Just again, we wanted something a nice classic vintage look.
And you went cork.
Yes,
that's an expense. That was a conscious decision to go cork, because you always know you're going to go real cork and not synthetic cork or just a twist off.
No, we wanted something that, again, because this is something we want to capture an experience in a bottle, right? So we didn't want to go synthetic. We want something nice cork, natural, and just again to fit the whole ambiance of the bottle.
And it's all silk screened on the bottle or printed on the bottle.
Yes.
And again, that's an expense.
It is an expense. We
How
chose
fucking expensive is this damn bottle, John? Let me get to it.
Yeah,
but we chose to do something. We didn't want to like do printed labels. We thought that a screen print, something that's etched on to the bottle, is a much more classier look. So
it's and there's so much competition.
I want this on my bar. I want this
visuals right now.
I want this on my bar. I want. It looks nice. It tastes great. I want it on my bar. So, but yeah, it's that one's not going. That's going on Dad's shelf if that gets left behind.
It gets locked in with the cleaning with the cleaning stuff. So no one knows where it is.
It gets locked up. But yeah, so that's it's nice. So these are a lot of expenses going into it.
Yes.
And yet, because I saw it on the shelf and I wasn't like, oh hell no, because a lot of times I see a bottle and I'll go, oh hell.
Does that come with the retail? Do we get that packaging in the retail experience?
Yeah, so it was
no, that's actually
that's going back with you.
Yeah, that's coming back with.
That's a fun little.
I didn't know if it was like a wine holder or like a.
No, this is something. So when we're gifting bottles at different events, this is something that we use, and this is my wife. Shout out to her, Dr. Wanda Joubert. She's our what you call curator specialist, right? So,
okay.
You know, anything out there. I'm sorry. Procurement specialist.
Got it.
Yeah. There you go.
That's like I know what it's like to not get it right.
Yeah.
Yes,
no, that's brilliant. It's a great package.
Oh, thanks.
So all right, there you go. MSRP up on the shelf. What are we looking at?
So the average, depending on where you're at, the average is between 50 and 54.
Okay.
What's the state minimum here then?
Yeah. So the state minimum here is 49.
Okay, so it's a $50 bottle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're either going to depend on
it's 49. 49 is kind of the standard going rate.
Yeah,
we were talking about it 2-3 weeks ago.
Yep.
$50 bottle is
$50.
I mean, if it's
I mean,
anymore,
I can't fill up my gas tank for that. So it's like, you what were you just gauge it on how much your gas tank?
Not right now.
Right.
My Bronco Sport, my Bronco Sport's
not
right
if
at
you
$50.
use premium.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Kidding me? No.
So how long has this creation existed?
Yeah.
This let's say about 3.5 years.
So you've been doing this 3.5 years?
Okay.
And the wine was how long before that?
It took you long enough to get here.
Yeah. And I just heard about you guys.
And the wine is a little under 4 years.
Okay.
So, almost simultaneous, but we did get a little head start with the wine. So.
Okay. Because like I said, the Puffs and Drinks, the other podcast, I invited them. They didn't come, so you don't have to go on their show. No, they would really love to have you. You guys would have a right. But they introduced me to it last week, and super. I lost where I was going, but super excited about it.
So what's your distribution right now?
So
across the
Dave,
country?
you stole my question. Dave.
Sorry, Matt. You should be here.
So right now we are in 6 states. So we're in Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, New York, Nevada, Maryland, DC, and we're getting ready to launch into the Georgia market in May.
Nice.
So you did the Vegas market. Now, having talked to friends and the friend, like I mentioned, Hard Luck Vodka, they had an owner, an investor who pushed. They had to go Vegas because everyone comes to Vegas and they'll see it and they'll ask for it back home.
Yeah. Okay.
Was that your thought process here? Or was it volume? Like you thought you could just move product there?
Vegas was one of those. Well, Nevada period was one of those targeted markets
sometimes
for us
easier to get in.
Because they're
easier to get in.
One we had we do have our partners are in Vegas. They're from here from Detroit, but they're in Vegas now.
Oh, okay.
So we have boots on the ground there.
There you want people
literally. So we definitely want to get into that market.
So Ikonic Spirits.
Yes, sir.
Who is Ikonic Spirits? Is that you, or
with
do you have is with an I?
Yeah, with
K-O-N.
It's with the K because we're special.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So who is Ikonic?
So Ikonic Spirits is me. I really created and birthed Ikonic Spirits, of course, with the support of my wife. But Ikonic is me, and again, by me spending time in the entertainment industry, I have an entertainment group called Ikonic Entertainment Group.
Okay.
So we were just keeping things iconic.
There you
All
go.
right.
So a little off track since you brought that up.
Yes,
what kind of entertainment acts do you represent?
So I have an independent record label. So I have some hip hop artists.
Okay.
I have actually a legend, Film C, by the name of Moni Love.
Of course, I know Moni Love.
Is.
I know Moni Love.
Yes. Yeah. So
I'm a man of a certain age.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's my artist. I'll have a couple of groups here that's based here in Michigan, and we're getting ready to take on someone else who was a jazz soul legend. I don't want to announce her name yet because we're still finishing up on some paperwork. But we're
Marcellus had a sex change. Don't worry, he's not listening.
So that was my and I started off doing management, and then from throughout the year just getting relationships led me to getting a distribution deal with the Orchard, which is a subsidiary of Sony. So that was sort of fell in my lap. So I couldn't turn that opportunity down.
So if you ever want to get into the entertainment comedy portion of things, I do hypnosis shows. We'll talk later.
Yeah. Okay. He is the Motor City hypnotist.
He's looking to get signed.
In fact,
he will not hypnotize me to stop eating potato chips.
This weekend,
every week.
Did it work?
He said I ask him every week. He won't do it.
Yeah. This weekend I had to Iowa for a post-prom party. So
wow.
I'm actually afraid he'll help me tell stories on the podcast. If he hypnotizes me.
Yeah.
Bad.
That is way too much.
That one time when I pooped in the cat box.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
One of these episodes, one of these nights, and we're going to keep August and Jamie and Matt all here, and I'm going to hypnotize you guys for my show.
Okay.
Make sure you guys sign disclosure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
And, that one cannot be live on Facebook.
I cannot be liable. Yes.
No, it cannot be live on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, John, how long is this aged, right? So you get it from MGP.
Oh, that's a great question. We never asked that.
Yeah.
And then
this is 4 years old.
Okay, that's nice. Because to be bourbon, you have to be 2.
Has to be 2.
So you're going 4.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And we do have some more
because it's not
aging. So we're gonna pull the trigger
on
that.
Get some older barrels.
What's the next step? Do you have a next step that
we have a next step? We're probably gonna come out with something that's older, that's aging right now.
But you're sticking with bourbon.
Yeah, we're gonna stick with bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah.
For now. All
right.
Yeah.
For now.
But an older expression of this mash bill.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Because this is a lot of times we'll get young brands and you're like, oh, that's young.
Yeah, and you can tell.
And this wasn't. Oh, that's young.
And it's our local guys. It's our Detroit guys, and we know. And then they just want to push their product out as fast as they can. And that's how they got to keep the doors open.
I understand because you have to pay bills and
keep the doors open.
You're like, that'll make a hell of a cocktail.
Yeah.
I mean, but this I will do straight. This is.
Do you have any?
I'll even do it with my gay friends.
I don't know why that even happened. Okay. Any tasting room or space ideas in the future?
Yes, we are. That's another phase that we're working on, partnering up to establish the tasting room so we can start doing that. But right now in the stores that that we're in, we do a lot of tastings.
You are the man on the street. Because a lot of times you go, oh, so such and such a store is having a tasting,
and
there's just some
cleavage and
spokesmodel,
a hairdo and a cleavage, and here, taste this.
It's John's in there, telling his story.
I mean, he's a good looking dude, but he ain't hairdo and cleavage.
There, brother.
But I love that we went and it was like, oh no, this is my brand. And we're like, holy crap, awesome.
So we know we do have a tasting team. But I really like to go to the stores. I like to be able to shake hands and really talk to the people and just let them know about the brand and tell them about the history. So I like that connection, and it also makes people feel a connection to the brand because you're speaking with the owner. And how many times are you going to get an opportunity to speak to an owner of a brand?
So you've met a lot of people out at tastings. What is something somebody said either about a connection to? Have you met anybody who's had like a connection to
Idlewild?
Absolutely,
to Idlewild?
Absolutely.
That's gotta be
what's the best story you got out on the road?
It's got to be some of those stories. Got to be just make you like
it does. It does. It's funny because we sponsor a comedy show in Idlewild every year. This will be the 5th year. It's called Comedy in the Wild. And so a lot of people, come through there. And of course, I don't remember everybody that comes through there, but when, We have some people might come into a store and they look and they be like, wait a minute, I remember you. We were at the comedy show.
Yeah.
You know, and so I like that because it's familiarity, you know, with the brand, and we love it. We love it.
Well, I will give you credit as far as just like boots on the ground doing. I mean,
he's the man out
there.
He's the man.
Again, very short sidebar. I have a good friend who started a tequila company about 10 years ago. First 2 or 3 years, he and his wife were in every store every day. They were 7 days a week. They were in stores, and
yes, that's
how you grow it.
That's what you have to do. So we're considered a boutique brand, which which is fine.
Sure, you do it. You do it.
Absolutely. And so when you're like that, so you have to get out. You have to get in the market. You have to boost on the ground again. To get in all these places, spaces and places, and just talk about the brand, because what we want is more eyes and ears on our brand as possible. So you got to get out there in the street. You have to do it.
So I mean that you hustle, and that's why I'm sure that's why a lot of companies fail after 3 years, or who knows? I mean,
What's that, Matt?
I wonder how many.
Matt's trying to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry,
we can barely hear him.
Yeah, Matt's not here.
No, yeah. So, John, what I really enjoy about what you're doing is that you're growing organically. You're letting people speak about your brand. You got your tasting team, but you are growing organically because, yes, being a boutique brand is great, but there's another phase to growth, and organic growth is the best way to go. It's word of mouth. It's people talking about what you do and how you do it. I'm not there tasting it, but I can tell there's passion behind what you're doing. So
thank you.
I appreciate what you do.
Well, we've had one other owner on the show since I've been here for the 2.5, 3 years. Duke and Dame.
Yep.
Was that an owner? He was an owner. He wasn't a brand guy. He was an owner.
Yeah.
We just got lucky that he had family in Southfield, so he was in town.
Right.
We've had owners on the show, but never in studio.
Right.
We've had owners that more outside and doing things at whiskey tastings and stuff like that. But and Duke and Dame is another black-owned brand.
Yes, I am familiar with them. I do know them. Yeah,
they are. Their whole thing was cruise ships.
Yeah,
they wanted to push their product on cruise ships. I'm like, I get it. All right, cocktails on cruise ships.
They see it, and when they get home, they want to see it. Yeah. So that's the play. Wow. All right, John. So we got to talk about Phyllis, right? Yes. So we'll come back and crack a couple bottles of wine. But Phyllis has the logo is like a tree. Yes. Can you tell them anything? Can we do a little spoiler alert on that one about the tree and the Phyllis logo?
I'll give you a little spoiler. So first of all, the name Phyllis. When I researched the name, it means the strongest root of a tree. And so that is why that logo is a tree, and it happens to be purple, which was my mother's birthstone as well as her favorite color.
All right.
I love that.
We save the rest.
We'll save the rest for that.
I'm going to bring my Moscato in
because he's a wine guy.
And we're going to do this.
I'm
going to throw down.
Let's do it.
With my sorry about the mess labeled Moscato. I'm a big Han Solo fan. I'm a Star Wars guy. And there's that scene where he shoots Guido and he goes, sorry about the mess. And flips the coin on.
I remember that scene.
So then when you're making wine at home, you just make a mess.
Make a mess.
And my cousin, who's a tattoo artist, who's a very well-known tattoo artist, does a lot of the lions and stuff like that. He painted this amazing painting of Han Solo's blaster with like the roses, all the traditional tattoo roses around it, and it says "Sorry about the mess" and a banner going across it. So we scanned it in and made it my wine label.
Oh, wow. Nice!
So it's pretty cool,
very authentic, I would say.
Yeah, oh yeah. And so the painting's hanging up on the wall in my house, and then the labels on the wine that I make, and just give to friends.
Nice,
so
nice.
I have some Moscato.
Well, I was going to say you can't sell it because.
No, I don't.
You'll get it with a copyright.
No, I don't. Well, no. I don't sell it anyway.
No.
What
I know.
When I make wine, I have a guy who says, "Hey, I'll buy the wine if you make it and bottle it. I'll give you like $500, and I'm gonna put my label on it because I want it because I still want to take the time to make it and bottle it." I'm like, cool. Yeah. And I overcharge him, and it pays for all the wine.
It pays for the next batch
that my girlfriend drinks and I give away. That my family just drinks on holidays. So yeah. I just went through some. My winter white blend, which I might, if I have one in the car, I'll give it to you. I might have one left in the car, and my Pinot Noir, and I just ran out of the Pinot. I'm going to start my family's favorite is my blackberry Pinot, but I can't get the same blackberry juice I always had. So god damn it, I'm on a tangent, but I'm looking for blackberry juice. I spent an hour at work today. Sorry, boss. Looking for a good blackberry juice source to get some good blackberry juice to put in my next batch of wine. So anyway, I fuck with wine. That's my thing.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, John, we're looking forward to the next expression.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when the wines, we'll come back. We'll do the when you feeling it. Do you have a good summer wine? Maybe we'll wait till it gets a little hotter.
Moscato's sweet.
Yes. Now we'll wait. We'll have a wine conversation going on.
I agree. I agree.
And we will do that.
I do want to make an announcement.
Yeah.
That
Bring it.
will be in Myers.
Starting
next month in
you
May.
Absolutely are from Detroit because you put an S on the end. You are homegrown.
Yes.
That's why
we'll be in 120 Myers in the state
That
of
is
New
nice.
So you better go to your nearest Myers.
That's why I could not find it yesterday.
Because
I
you're
went
at
to
Kroger.
Meijer. I went to the Meijer down the street here, and I was looking for your stuff.
Go to Total Wine.
I'm in Grand Rapids. There's
okay.
not a Total Wine on it. But I went to Meijer, and I'm looking for it. I couldn't find it. To know that you're going to be in Myers going forward.
That's perfect.
So there's the Grand Rapids Total Wine. We are in there as well. So
all right.
Yeah.
So the Total Wines and local independents and now Meijer.
Matt,
that's awesome.
Did you check for the clearance section at the Meijer?
I did. No, there was no list.
No list.
No list.
Meijer does like a little sale thing on the bourbons. We did a couple episodes back. And the Meijer I go to normally doesn't have it.
The big box stores can do this. They can apply for half off.
Since we talked about this, I have looked for it and I've not seen it yet.
And they have to.
I know.
They did it in January.
Yep.
January to April. They apply for half off to clear inventory.
Okay.
And they have to have they cannot have more than X amount of bottles on stock. And they apply to the state and they can sell it for half off. And they have to clip a list of everything that's half off at the end of the liquor aisle so people can look at it.
Wow.
And they can, that's why we grabbed.
But then they can't reorder.
They cannot reorder for a year.
For a year.
Okay.
Yeah. And they do it and it's 3 months. And if you don't sell it in 3 months, it goes back to full price. Yeah. So I got a bottle of Redemption Weeded for $25.
Wow.
I mean, the good stuff.
Nutty.
Because that specific Meijer wasn't moving it.
Yeah.
Everything else on the list was like New Amsterdam pineapple cum shot. It was like dumb shit. Apple brandy pear gin from Loveless. Something you've never heard of.
Yeah.
But they, you can't have 36 cases of Buffalo Trace and apply for it and try to undermine the competition. They won't let you do it.
Okay.
So it's a rule to it.
Which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why there's a rule to it. But they know these big box stores are inundated from these distributors about carrying these products, and if you want to get rid of all your coconut blush or whatever barrel aged gin, they'll let you off it at half off. So if you really want that for $7 because they're only charging $15 for it, you can get it. But there's occasionally a bourbon that wasn't moving. They only had one case of because every Meijer
sometimes there's a gin.
Every Meijer has an individual beverage manager.
Yeah.
And Kroger does the same thing.
Yep.
They have a beverage manager who will apply and say these are the ones. Yeah. It's all about what time of year they apply for their dump.
Yep.
And you can see those because I grabbed a bottle of Bullet 10-year about a year and a half ago on an end cap at Kroger. I'm like, how can they do this? This shit ain't legal.
Yeah.
You can't do this. I know the book. I worked at a bar for 18 years. I know you can't do this. Yeah. And I'm like, some kid's going to get fired, but I'm going to buy this before he gets fired.
Yeah.
That was my whole idea.
Good for you, though.
Yeah, good for me.
Good for the consumer.
I talked to Big Tony, the wine garden in St. Clair Shores. It's a good place to get into. But
that's a connection we'll help you make.
Talk to Big Tony, and I mentioned that to him. He's like, oh yeah, you can do that. But he goes, I just sit on them.
Yeah, he sits on them.
The stores, the independents, we'll just sit on it.
Yeah, it's the big guys that do the half off thing to clear shelf space.
Yeah. All right, John. Anything else? We got the big Meijer announcement. That is so exciting.
Any events coming up where you're doing a tasting or cocktail or something we can show up at?
Bourbon craziness.
The Bourbon Festival. In Detroit. Metro Detroit Bourbon Festival, which will be.
It's in Southfield, isn't it?
Yes, in Southfield. Yeah, so we will be there. So you guys come out, hang out, come by our booth, and get you a taste, and I'll be there. So
all right,
come and see me talk.
Hey, Jamie, see if you can get the guy who organizes that and get us a box of that.
All right.
By that I mean a table there.
Yeah, we'll work on it. All right, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing
here and
sharing your passion with us. Sharing, this is your project, your passion. This is very cool to sit and talk to you about it, and it's kind of thing that makes me shake a little bit, having been a Detroit historian, and the Ossian Sweet story on the East Side and all that kind of stuff that was important to me growing up. This is awesome.
I love the history.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The history is what makes me like well up a little bit.
Yep, I love it.
Having grown up and working for a Detroit state black senator, I'm in politics. So that's kind of like what I do. So
all right. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
BlackEden1912.com.
Yes.
Black Eden 1912 on the shelf.
Yes, sir.
And all those links will be in the show notes, and do all the podcast things and all the podcast places.
But we are missing one thing, Mr. Flanagan.
What are we missing? Well, we didn't talk about our sponsor.
Irish radio.
My Irish radio.
The goddamn online Irish shit. The mechanic skate here. Always gotta do
it. Brought to you by the 24/7 online radio.
So, John, just some background. Jamie does a radio show called My Irish Radio that he's pushing.
Radio
so
station.
Put into tastings in terms of mix it into whiskey. What are you doing? So everybody who does it, I have a hidden hat that I throw out. You start yelling at me. I love bad Scottish accent.
Does bad, culturally insensitive.
Yes, appropriating Irish.
Yes,
because we all want those potatoes.
I mean,
haggis.
I think the three of us are probably Irish anyway. So
I got enough in me.
I have a lot.
A disturbing amount of French, but
right.
German.
All right, we'll do it all again very, very soon. Yes, gentlemen.
Cheers, brothers.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, Matt.
Love you.
For riding out. It's fun watching you eat pizza for 20 minutes.
Yep. See you, Matt. I'll see you in a moment, Matt.